Hey there, it's Amy, and today we're going to be looking at July and my Hobonichi cousin. If this is your first video with me, hello. It's so nice to have you here. I do not plan traditionally in my Hobonichi cousin, as you could maybe guess. I use it more for memory keeping and junk journaling, that kind of vibe. It is a great sense of joy for me, so I hope that you enjoy this video. We are gonna look at every bit of my Hobonichi cousin, how it has evolved since the last time you saw it. Oh, I've got a selfie of Grant and his journal. I will put it up on the screen somewhere so that you can see it and you can see just how precious and cute, I mean attractive, let's be honest, he is, and how thick his Hobonichi cousin is. I definitely use him as a benchmark, so thank you, Grant. And thank you for all the love for Grant. That was really sweet to see because he is the best and cutest. So let's jump right on in. You may have noticed we are in a different area. I'm tired. I just need to be as close to the couch as possible. No. I normally, fun fact, drag my kitchen table, which is to the left of me, over to my front door. If you've watched my other videos, visualize this. I can reach out with my left hand and basically touch my front door. So that's where all the light is in my apartment. It makes for tricky YouTube filming. But today, Elaine has already gone to work, my girlfriend. Last time I dragged the table over myself, I knocked over our speakers for our sound system like a lot, and I still haven't really told her that, so don't worry, she does not watch these videos anymore. Very supportive, but she sees enough of this in real time, so she'll never know. That's our little secret. Please no one tell Elaine, please. Where was I going with that? So welcome to my living room. Richard's here. Richard is with us always, and we're just gonna get started. I leave for a pretty big conference that I've been prepping for since January in a couple days, so my brain is a little frazzled. So we'll see how this goes. First, I guess let's do a width check. Yeah. There she is. I will be honest with you. I have already purchased my 2025 cousin. We'll talk about that at the end. All right, let's jump in. So as always, I use that full year page as my period tracker. Nothing new to report there. It's weird as ever. Where my mid-30s girlie's at. Woo. Sorry. This is what I use as my workout tracker. In July, it was exciting to be able to turn the page on this. This is 6 months full of workouts and notes about my progress. I really love this page. This page feels really good. So it was nice to flip it over and to start a new half of the year. So in July, our challenge for the month was bar hanging. So we would go over to this thing called the TRX machine. You hang from it. And when we did this back in March, they wanted us to hang for a full minute, and that was really difficult. And I really only made it 20 seconds at a time towards the end of the month. It took me that full month to progress. But I don't know, something clicked in. I guess I have gotten stronger since March. I definitely have gotten stronger since March. And I was able to hold the bar hang for 30 seconds the whole time, with an extra little personal best coming towards the end of the month that you'll see. But it was really great. And I worked out on my birthday. My birthday is July 24th. That was a really big goal of mine. And it was really nice. And I progressed in my deadlift to 160 pounds. Definitely peed my pants doing that, but we're all friends here. Nothing new to add to my Tombow tracker page. I believe it was in May's flip through. Absolutely on screen wrecked this tracker, so I'm not doing it again this month. No new Tombows to add. Side note, in case you didn't know, when your Hobonichi gets really chunky and kind of difficult to write in, the binding is so strong that you can fold it back over on itself. And I actually cut that out of my last video when I was talking about how big it's getting and how I'm not sure if I want to get into an Avec or not for next year. And I cut that part out for time, but a lot of people were telling me about this. I do know you can do this when you're working in your Hobonichi, but it still just does not quite always work, unfortunately. This happens, and it's just because my cover is so stiff, and A lot of the bulk comes from the middle of my cousin because I tape a lot of stuff into the middle of it. So anyway, I could like fold this back and make it a little bit more flexible, a little less rigid, but I just haven't been doing that. So I use my monthly calendars, my monthly pages. I hope this isn't too distracting for you, but I keep moving my Hobonichi around and then having to check that you can still see it on the up top view. I'm gonna tape myself some targets, so give me just a second. As long as we're in that general vicinity, I know that you can see. July was a good month. July was a really busy month. It was birthday month, if I haven't mentioned that 1,000 times. And I just do a really quick snapshot of my day. And sometimes they make a lot of sense and other times they don't. Pretty big, straightforward month. Onto the weekly pages, I, in this month, started to really kind of freak out about the weekly pages and kind of stopped loving them that much. So you'll see. So this was me. I don't know what this was. I don't really know how to explain this, but I basically, because I do so much back journaling, I am often coming into my weeklies and like sticking stuff down that I got for the week. So I ordered pho from my favorite Vietnamese restaurant, which actually, because this note has been written here, it says this was actually from next week, so I didn't even do that. But I got Starbucks a couple times. Elaine got in a fight with my printer at work where I print all my labels for shipping and started printing out accidentally these like really tiny labels, and I think they're so cute, but it actually sent her into like a rage spiral in only a way that like technology can. So I had to put that in there. And then when we were in Greenville, South Carolina, I went to a CVS and they had this sticker. And now, as you know, Richard kind of runs my whole life. So I saw it and said, well, I have to buy that sticker. I think that sticker was like $6. I got some happy mail from my friend Tiffany, and she sends the best mail, which you'll see. And if you remember from last month, I've already actually talked about all of this, I'm pretty sure. So I'll make it kind of speedy. This is me doing like my little doodles and little illustrations again, seeing if they bring me joy. And they do, but they also just take up a lot of time. And this is kind of where we have landed, where I started sketching in all of this stuff this week. Actually, when I was doing these illustrations, I was like, let me get ahead of it. Let me go ahead and put some stuff in and do like quick, like kind of brain dump of what happened for the day. I say here, I'm over the weekly pages and this is all I got. I had pre-drawn a lot of these little illustrations and like brain dumped about the week when I was actually working on this. And I was like, oh, that way it'll already be like put in. So I'll just have to ink it in, you know, using my Tombows or my mild liners. And I just couldn't do it. Anyway, the next week was this. I don't know. It's just like this week, it's really hitting me like, oh shit, your birthday is next week and you haven't made a single real plan for the day. So I'm like asking the internet to help me figure it out. I go to the eye doctor because I was like a year overdue. The next week is my birthday week, and my birthday was on Wednesday, the 24th. I was throwing myself a dinner party with some good friends on the 27th. So this week ended up being like, yay, fun celebrating, but also, oh my God, there's so much to do before 10 people come to my house. The next week I was bringing back the like word web thing. I mean, isn't this something that you learn in like English class in elementary and middle school? Where are my old ones? To like dissect a story, maybe? I don't remember why. I really like to do these. This one was a little more successful. I guess I was watching TV a little too hard during this one, and I wrote this week quadruple the size that one, but that's okay. Yeah, just kind of writing like what's going on in the week. Nothing too exciting. So yeah, that actually leads into August. I'm going to tell you right this second, it's September the 4th, and I haven't done a single weekly thing for August. I have taped in some things, and I'm not super interested in doing weeklies moving forward. I have my 5-year journal. We've already talked about all of this, I'm pretty sure. Fun fact, I've already tried to film this video once last week and everything stopped filming, which I need to get up and make sure that you're still recording, because if you have stopped recording, God help us all. But anyway, I may have said this in that video that didn't make it, or I may have said it in last month's video. Because I have a 5-year Hobonichi and I'm keeping track in here of what would typically go on my weeklies, I don't like to repeat myself. I'm just probably gonna keep ignoring those. Who's to say? Okay, I'm coming to check on you, so hold on. Moving on. You're doing great, by the way. I angled you down a little bit more. I know you don't really need to see the Hobonichi from this view, but what if I just cut my head off? I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Should I get up and check? Okay, fine. I'll check. I'm gonna be honest with you. It took more effort than it should have taken, I should have never moved it, but I don't know. Now you get a wider look at my living room. So on July 1st, we went to Greenville, South Carolina to see Ashley Poston on her book tour for A Novel Love Story. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Amy, didn't she also go to Atlanta? Yeah, she did. She did. But she announced that date way after she had like launched the tour. I was like, maybe I'll go again to the Decatur one just to see what the vibe is like. And after getting the book, I think I decided I was okay. We had fun in Greenville, but the book, y'all, the book, I tell you here, the book was a flop. I gave it 2 stars, and I think that was being generous. I'm really sorry. But anyway, it was at M. Judson Bookstore in Greenville. It's such a gorgeous bookstore. There's like a really nice little cafe in there. It's like really stunning. Before the event, I had tagged Ashley Poston in something. I was doing like a Q&A or something on Instagram, and I tagged her in the story and was like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to Greenville to see her. I wonder if she'll sign my Hobonichi. And she messaged me back and she was like, I absolutely will sign your Hobonichi, because she too is a Hobonichi girly, which we love to see. I brought all my stuff with me to the hotel room. And so before the event, I'm like in there cutting all this stuff, like making the cover of the book. And I just did not do a really good job of gluing down this section, and I hadn't done the background blue yet. So when it came time for her to sign our books and for her to sign my Hobonichi, so I was like, yeah, you know, sign anywhere. And she was like, cool. And she lifted this up and signed back here, which it was so nice of her to even sign in the first place. But I was like, ugh, ugh. Like, you know, when you're like, maybe you're not a control freak actually, but I just sort of thought it was gonna be like here or like here or, you know, whatever. And she goes for like boop right behind, and she took a picture of it and we took a picture together, and it was like really sweet and fun, which then of course pains me to tell you that I hated this book, but I loved 7 Year Slip. And so I think it's okay that I didn't love this one and still had a really lovely time meeting her. On the 2nd of the month, I did a little ode to this month's Y'all Stars project. So this was a really cool project I was really proud of, and I had fun making this. I normally stick like a picture of the piece in there, but along with the project, they get like marketing photos. So I normally have nice pictures floating around, and I will stick it in here, but I just didn't this day. And then the next day I had a full meltdown. I'm gonna be absolutely honest with you, because running a business is so expensive, and it's just getting more and more expensive every day. I had a check hit my account, and I was like, I had been waiting on it, and I was so relieved when it hit. And after paying rent and buying a table and making some purchases for like shipping supplies and cost and paying my bookkeeper and doing payroll, I had spent like almost $2,000 in truly an hour and a half. So that was really tough, but that's okay. So I used vellum paper to make a little receipt, and life is interesting. You have really high highs and really low lows. Later this day, I'd held the bar hang for the first time for a full 30 seconds. And when he said 10 more seconds, and I realized I had made it past the longest time I'd ever done this, and that I could do 30, I was like, okay, I can do this. And I did it. And then I got off the bar, and like my hands were claws from just like gripping with my whole life. And just like the flood of realizing I did it, my body did this thing. I almost started crying. And I didn't film. I normally, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I normally film a lot of my workouts, at least in time lapse, because I like to have it to look at later, because I'm not always good at like recognizing progress in the moment, which is another reason why I put so much stuff about working out in here. And I didn't record that day. So I was like, of course I didn't record the day that I did this thing for the first time, and I was like so proud. But anyway, the next day was July 4th. I had a really big couch day. I worked in my Hobonichi, and I watched couples therapy, which is they go hand in hand so beautifully. So I highly recommend that if you're looking for something to watch while you're doing your Hobonichi. I ordered a new blender because I'm smoothie girl now. I've been really trying to get more protein in my life and just like eat more meal. I'm not good at feeding myself. I'm not good at being an adult in that way. So I ordered myself a blender, and it came, and it was so nice. And I, of course, for America, made us hot dogs and baked beans, and I did a little bit of work in the morning, but mostly just didn't for the rest of the day. And we watched The Idea of You, which was fine. They filmed the exteriors, I mean, not the Coachella parts, but they filmed her gallery in Atlanta. So it was like really funny to hear them mention Silver Lake a bajillion times and then they actually be like in Candler Park. The next day I actually got a pedicure, and I know that because while I was scrolling Instagram getting the pedicure, I come across this, what I just keep calling Instagram poem, which it's just when poet posts their poems on Instagram visually. And it hit me so hard. And I had been kind of going back and forth on what do I want to do for my birthday? I don't really know. I don't want to have this big party. And I had kind of decided to do a dinner and just invite a few close friends. And this poem like really sealed the deal for me. Will I read it to you? Is that weird? I guess I'll read it to you. 4 friends catch up over pasta. I'm doing better. They need to run more tests. We're moving in together. I'm never dating again. How's your dad? How's your heart? How are you dealing with the state of the world? I love your new hair color. I'm on new meds. Remember how young we used to be? Am I gonna cry? Let's build a commune. We can have sheep and goats. Yes, and dancing. I missed you. It's been too long. This is delicious. Am I okay? The sauce, this salad, this night, all of it. Okay, anyway, as I enter my early 30s, as I enter it, my God, I'm 34. Being where I am in my 30s, I am craving emotional intimacy from so many people in my life. And, you know, time goes by so fast. I know that because I think about it all the time. And so I wanted this. So anyway, I wanted to do it and I got it, but we'll talk about that in a few pages. The next couple pages, this is my mail from Tiffany. She sends the best mail. You never know what you're gonna get from that girl. She is incredible. Like this being one of them, she nannies a couple little girls, and when they have craft time, Tiffy has craft time, and it's just such a delight to get surprise mail from someone, especially when it's so bright and so silly. And it can be so simple. She writes, today I sat on my back porch and ate an entire peach straight from Georgia. What a joy. Love you, Tiffany. She lives in upstate New York now, so she doesn't get the peaches like we get them down here as often, and reminded me that like you can just drop a little letter in the mail. So I'm really trying to be better about that. So far I'm failing, but it's on my list, which again, we'll talk about in a bit. This is me just having fun with like a different vibe. So I found some pictures in the Bon Appetit magazines that we get and just kind of like laid it down. And I just pulled out some things that I really enjoyed in those magazines and then added my co-star do and don't list. So I have used my Tombow tape runner, which the one I got this time is, well, I guess now that we can reposition it, where should we put it? So anyway, sorry about that. It's like all coming up. Last time I got the permanent one and I regretted it, and now I have a repositional one and I regret it. So you know what? I cannot be satisfied. Where have I heard that before? Every partner ever. Just kidding. Oh my God, just kidding. This is just a fun little collage. And then my friend Megan loves CoStar. If you're not familiar, CoStar is an astrology app. Today they said your energy needs to go somewhere or it'll turn into rage. Ain't that the truth? And they gave me a do and don't list of do, seltzer, snack bowl, encyclopedias, and don't announcements, algorithms, and glass objects. And I posted this on my Instagram, just like having fun. I can do a seltzer, I can do a snack bowl, but how would you interpret encyclopedias? And I got a lot of good feedback. But then someone, because there's always like one bad apple in every crowd, this person was like, maybe doing some research on how it's been scientifically proven that astrology is not real. And I was just like, girl, let us live. Times are so hard. Let me have my silly little astrology app. And Megan, when I sent it to her, and said like, what would you think for encyclopedias? She's like, well, Hobonichi is the encyclopedia of the self. So I was like, oh my God, you're right. I allowed myself to do a little Hobonichi today. And then the next day, if you are familiar with Destiny Sidwell, she is a booktuber that Elaine and I have the word's not fallen in love with, but sort of like adopted as our child. I love her so much. I think she's so pure. I just want to put her in a little bubble and protect her forever. She surprise moved to Austin and she dropped it in a YouTube video. And I almost left work early so that I could come home and watch it with Elaine because I was like, what is happening? But anyway, we watched it. I cried. I'm excited for her. I am so nervous. I just hope it works out. And if you like to read books and you would like to hear about books from a 21-year-old, Destiny is a really great place to start. This is the day also that I went up on my deadlifts. This is now too much information. So I'm going to give you like a 3, 2, 1 countdown. And if you don't want to hear too much information, skip 20 seconds. I was on my period this week, so I had on a pad, and thank God. I think we did like 4 sets. And so on the 4th one, I went up from my previous, which I think was just like 150 maybe. And I'm just full out pee my pants because I have no shame really, or like I can control my shame. I say to the coach, oh, I fully just peed my pants. And thank God that I did, because he was like, yeah, that happens to women a lot. Like, instead of trying to bear down in that way when you're lifting, like try to do it from your diaphragm. Really helpful. And then of course, Elaine and Richard, both kind of giving me a really sassy look that I don't appreciate. The next day we went to see Ben Platt at the Fox Theater. The Fox Theater is this gorgeous historic theater in downtown Atlanta. Oh, it's beautiful. Google it. It's gorgeous. Elaine, I will say Elaine does this, where she enters the lottery to get tickets during like the Broadway season. She wins a lot. So like I recommend doing that in your town, and you can get really cheap tickets. I think these tickets were like maybe $30 each. And we were like in the orchestra. It was just like so nice. And I don't know him well, like theater camp. I loved theater camp. I thought it was amazing. I like obviously respect him, but it's kind of like not my area of gayness. It was cool that we got to go, but I was kind of dreading it because I was like really tired. That man gets out there and he just starts singing, and I turned to Elaine like a song in, and I'm like, okay, well, I love him. To the point where the girl behind me spilled a full drink on me and I couldn't even be bothered. I mean, I was like a little bothered, but mostly I was just like, wow, this is so fun. And he sang the song called Andrew, which now here's a little bit more too much information. My middle school and high school love of my life was named Andrew, and I wanted him so desperately to love me back, and he just wouldn't, which I know what you're thinking. How? I don't know either. I tried. But anyway, he sings a song about Andrew and like being in love with Andrew and Andrew not being in love with you back. And I was just like sitting in there weeping. Weeping. The background is the lyrics to Andrew, piece of vellum paper on top, my ticket, and then just a little picture and stuff. Next day, I launched my flip through. Finally, I did a quiet flip through, which I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that every month. Forgot until just this moment, actually. So the next day, my friend Rachel, who's an incredible artist out of Wisconsin, she was like, oh my God, this is my favorite. Give me your address. And she sent me a freaking bag of coffee from this place. It was so nice. And so this was the bag. And this day was just like busy, good. Went to the gym, got pho for dinner. We were so cuties of the year, which I've written, and then asterisks forever. I realized on this day, which would have been the 13th of July, that like July's flying by. Dramatic. And I just got kind of like really bummed because I was like, oh my God, because I really like to savor my July and like count down the days to my birthday, and time flies so quickly already that usually every day in July I'm like putting glitter in my coffee as just like a fun like celebration. And it's the 13th of July, I hadn't put glitter in my coffee yet, and I was really upset about it. And so I was just telling Elaine like, oh, I've just been so busy and it just like doesn't feel like my birthday, and I'm like really sad. I sing this song to Elaine when it feels like nobody cares, and it goes like this. Nobody cares about me. And she hates it, by the way, because it makes her really sad. And I hope it just made you sad, because that's the goal of that song, is to be manipulative. And anyway, I'd sang that song a little bit, and she's like, no, we love you. She's like, she has Richard, and she's like, we love you, please stop singing. And anyway, so I'm on the couch here in Hobonichi, and she puts up this banner behind me that says happy birthday, and it was just really sweet. So there was that. Very cute, very sweet. These are my yellow paper house papers, which I almost always link below in the description. I'm gonna be honest with you, they've been out of stock. I just realized, because I tried to go order a pad, they've been out of stock, and I keep being like, hey girlies, and I haven't heard back. The next day was a Sunday. Our friend PJ was like, we made this plan earlier in the week, and I kind of didn't think it was gonna happen, but I also forgot that when you make a plan with PJ, it sticks. Also, hi PJ. We had this plan to watch, Elaine and PJ had this plan to watch a game of some sort on the television. So he came over, and he's so sweet. He was like, you know, when you go see somebody and you hang out with them and you're like together and you're hanging out, and then when you go home and you see your family, you spend time, you know, you sit in the living room, like you do whatever, but you're sitting together, you're spending time together. And he said, this is spending time, like this is family time. And it was just really sweet. The next day, this is just a meme from Instagram that I love, you know, those text memes that says like, getting kidnapped, grab my Kindle too, please, which is so me. I actually recently, maybe on this day, I went ahead and purchased a purse Kindle, because I I kept bringing my Kindle to the bedroom to read at night and then forgetting when I leave for work to put it in my bag. And so then when we would like go out for dinner, I wouldn't have it on me, and nothing ruins dinner faster to me than not having my Kindle. Prime Day came around and I said, I'm gonna go ahead and need a Kindle. And I did it. I bought myself a Kindle. No regrets. It's been such a delight. This was probably the rainiest July we've had in quite some time. If you follow me on Instagram, you may know that I spend a lot of time checking on the rain if it's raining outside and I'm at work. And even at home, I like to step outside and see how things are going. So checked on the rain a lot. Elaine had put up another kind of tassel banner, which is really sweet. This is the year of the Sharpie Creative Marker. So I had to, of course, put it in the Hobonichi because I'm loving it, and it seems like everybody that's buying them and tagging me on Instagram is also loving them. So very nice. The next day, Elaine's sister was in town, and we had dinner and went to Jenny's, and I had saved this gorgeous ice cream cone from this Bon Appetit, and I was like, I'm gonna do something with that because I've also, my goal, one of my summer bucket list items is to eat more ice cream, and I have been taking that serious, and I don't feel bad about it. But anyway, we went to Jenny's after dinner. So this is our receipt. Made like a little pocket back here and just wrote a little bit about the day. I do tend to put a pull tab on there just so I can get it out a little bit easier. I'm addicted to my neon orange and yellow Posca pen, if you have not noticed, and I will find any reason to put that on there. The next day I got an eye exam, about 2 years overdue, maybe just a year overdue, and I immediately drove to Warby Parker and picked out glasses, and they were so fun and cute. I tend to always get my glasses from Warby Parker. This is the Kemi, Kemi, and I was like, between these glasses, and the girls that worked there, they all gathered around and they were like, this, okay, this, and they're helping me, and they bring out some guys from the back, which I was like really kind of embarrassed about, but it was really fun. That's the Warby Parker at Pond City Market. Highly recommend that one. The girlies are so fun, and because they were so cute and fun, I bought two. But that's been really nice to have 2 pairs of glasses. So also this day, we went to the Braves game for Genevieve, Elaine's sister's birthday. It rained, the sky opened up, and oh my God, did it rain. It rained for the mile walk to the stadium. It rained so hard they canceled the game. So while we were there for like 4 hours, because I'm also just trying to be chill and I'm trying not to freak out. I'm trying not to complain. I got my Kindle. I got a giant beer that Elaine's parents paid for. And I was like, don't complain. And hey, I didn't. I was so proud of myself because I wanted to be at home. We got on the Jumbotron. That was cool. I was eating a hot dog and I said, not today. I said, you are not going to try to get me. You're not catching me vulnerable. So I was looking real cute. Don't worry. So I just did some raindrops and did like some kind of little, this one does say it was misery, my bad. Did just some kind of notes underneath here. And I like that it like flaps a little bit. The next day I woke up a little bit hungover because since her birthday got rained out, I did go ahead and demand we go to the bar. So we went to our home bar and we gave Genevieve her first shot of Malort. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, why are you having Malort in Atlanta? One, I don't like to, but our home bar is a bit of a hockey bar and the owners are from Chicago. Did you know they barrel age Malort sometimes? You can buy that bottle. So this was a really nice day. I had some good alone time. Ended up going to work and ordered some Chinese food. So then we kind of launched into birthday week. Elaine gave me an early birthday present. This was obviously the first picture we took with it. We're launching into birthday week. We're officially in birthday week. CoStar gives me a really cute rundown. They give me this like really fun cake. They say 34 is the year you're picked first and you recruit everyone onto your team, which I thought was really sweet. And so I just loved to use my Sharpie creative markers to like add some detail. It was fun. Oh, okay, so on this day, I got a manicure and I keep forgetting to add it in. So we're actually gonna do it together, if that's okay. I normally do like a full page situation, but other stuff happened this day, so. Literally, y'all, this is how I do it every single time. I think I missed a spot. I'm like trying to use my own fingers as a reference point. Like I'll stick my pencil there and then like move my finger away. Because sometimes this like angle of everything can get really hard. And also sometimes I just don't nail it. Which honestly, I don't care. It's fine with me. And the downside to doing it this late in the game is they were actually much longer than today's manicure. I actually just got a manicure a mere 2 hours ago. Actually, way longer than 2 hours ago. Oh my God, like 6 hours ago. So it's actually like a lot. They were longer than this, but that's okay. They're really cool. So I'm gonna do a little talking at this point while I work through this. My nails, I wanted to match my birthday theme, which was like blues. So what we ended up doing was this like half, normally a little bit neater. Am I? Actually, no. We did this like ombre effect of this like blue to sort of like nude pink. And then Bonnie, my girl, my absolute girl Bonnie, she did like, they were like these like weird little shapes on top in this dark blue. And on my really long nails, it was just like so stunning. It was like almost like a weird reverse French sort of thing, or like it kind of looked like I had like French, but anyway, so that was cool. And I really liked them until I hated them because I pushed my appointment way too long. And they were just falling apart, I swear. All right. So, I normally also, I guess I do like my knuckle situations. These are down lower. Oops. All right, and then I get my hard tip. And y'all, I'm kind of low on those. All the ones that I have left are just about dried to the bone. So let me find, I have literally one good one left. And of course now I can't find it amongst. No. And the reason why, I'm sure you're like, how are you looking at these and knowing that it's not the one that you want? And I'll tell you, because I'll do like washi tape or those dot markers that I have. And so this is my newest because it doesn't have one. All right, where did you go? Cotton Eye Joe, stop that. Ooh, baby. We got a little loose on that pinky finger, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Y'all know I'm allergic to erasing anything, so can't imagine that's gonna happen. But anyway, then maybe let's do, ooh, it could be fun. I don't think you can see. Just adding my Posca pen on top. I should have just used my Posca pen for that. New mini for Bday. And then when that dries, I'm probably gonna outline that just to make it like a little more cohesive. But anyway, there's that. So for my birthday, I invited 9 of my closest friends over. Invitation was like blue and white. It was just like really pretty and classic. And I just really went with that theme. Our plates are blue and white, like they're white with like blue speckles. So I was like, I wanted it to kind of like look cohesive. So I invited everyone. So I just wanted to kind of thank them for being such a big part of my journey into who I am. So I do ceramics, you know that, right? I painted a series. So I did like a cocktail glass, a water glass, and then a coffee mug. And then I did vases and I did candlestick holders. I was gonna let them choose which ones they wanted and then send them home with them that night. So I ended up painting probably like 50 things. It was like so crazy. And they were all blue and white, and oh my God, they were beautiful. I'll put up a picture somewhere, but it was just like so lovely, so perfect. This is the second time the camera has stopped recording. So this one will be the third time I'm retelling these stories, and I'm trying really hard not just to remain silent and just flip through these with attitude, because that's not fun. Nobody likes that. I'm gonna get it together, and I should have eaten a little candy before I started. But anyway, it cut off with me telling you that I painted dinnerware or drinkware for the dinner and sent it home with everyone, and it was really cool and really great, and I'm so happy I did it. It was such a fun project where I got to spend this time thinking about these women that were coming to dinner and just the part that they have played in my life and how wonderful they are and how I would not be the same if I had not met them. So that was really great. And then the next day I went to the gym. Reminder, we're doing these bar hangs as the challenge. Typically the challenges happen at the very beginning of class after warm up. This day my coach was like, oh yeah, yesterday was the member of the month workout, which I had skipped actually. He was like, the member of the month they pick a member every month, by the way, that they like spotlight and we cheer on, and they get to pick a workout. And he was like, yeah, she hates the bar hangs, so we skipped it yesterday for all the other classes, except I forgot to skip it, so we're just gonna skip it today. And my coach was just kind of like in passing, oh yeah, if you want to do it after class, like you're more than welcome to. And everybody was like, whatever, because they hate the bar hang. But I have started to love the bar hang. So after class was over, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to do it. Went over to the two coaches and I was like, hey, can you time me? I'm gonna try to hang. And they put a minute on the clock, and I didn't really know that. I was just gonna kind of like call out when I was done. So I started a little bit before they told me to, which that matters, I promise. And I'm hanging and they're cheering me on and they're like, you got this, and they're counting it down. They're like 30 seconds in. Another coach comes from the back, because this is the last class of the day and nobody's in the gym, and he's like, who are y'all talking to? And he sees that I'm trying it out, and he's so sweet. He's like, oh my God, Amy, you got this. So I've got these three coaches cheering me on, like showing me support in a way that is so lovely. I will not cry. This is the second time I've told the story. I will not cry. And it was just perfection. But my hand started to slip. I dropped off within their countdown with a couple seconds to go. But within my countdown, because remember I started early, it was a full minute. So I'm taking that full minute. It's mine. You can't have it. And I was so proud of myself. I will never forget that moment. So this is me hanging from the bar. The next day was my birthday. I got up really early and read and worked on my Hobonichi. And then we were going to have breakfast at my favorite spot, but they're closed on Wednesdays. It's Ria's Bluebird. So we couldn't go to Ria's. Devastating. Instead, we went to another spot that actually we used to be regulars at, called Java Jive. After that, we went to the High Museum and looked at art and was very sophisticated. And then Elaine took me to Sephora and I bought some stuff that I did not need but wanted, so that's cool. And then I worked out and we went to our hometown bar for dinner. I tore this out of a Bon Appetit magazine. I've been saving this for months in preparation for my birthday spread, and I recently got these really inexpensive like vinyl stickers from Amazon. I want to say there's like they're $10. There's so many in there, and I really like playing with them in here because they're really thin and they're shiny, and I don't have very many like shiny things in here, so I really like this together. And then on the next page wrote my 34 goals that I have in my 34th year, and you may notice I'm stopped at 33 because when I sat down to write these, I had repeated myself once, and then I had written one that like didn't make any sense. I'll tell you, it was rewatch Mad Men. Why did I write that down? I don't want to rewatch Mad Men, and if I do, I don't want to make it like a goal for myself. I don't know, so I'm scrapping that one. So if you have 2 recommendations for goals that I should shoot for in my 34th year, I'd love to hear it. You know, they don't have to be huge. Like, I'll read them to you so that way you can get a vibe of what I'm going for. So I want to start my back piece. I want to make plans with a friend once a month, open a high yield savings account. If you have any recommendations, let me know. And then I want to add $2,000 to that high yield savings account. I want to pay off 75% of my taxes. If you know, you know, running a small business is misery. Make my studio a place that I enjoy being at, get more protein and fiber, visit my family more, read every day. If you follow me on Instagram, you may know that I currently have a Kindle streak of almost 500 days, and it means a lot to me. Stay caught up in my 5-year Hobonichi, which is actually very hard for me. Post 2 YouTube videos a month. I'm trying. Go to the gynecologist, get a physical, go to the dentist, go to the eye doctor, get new glasses, send mail once a month. I want to do monthly planning sessions at work, so I'm not just flying by the seat of my pants every second of every day, because it's taking years off my life. But it's hard when you're by yourself. I want to try You Need a Budget, and if you've ever tried that, please let me know. If you've ever tried that, especially with a small business, I'd love to know. I want to read more of my physical TBR. I want to have fresh flowers at home more, have friends over for casual dinners. Just like last minute plans. I'd love to do that. I'm trying to be better about being spontaneous. It's really hard for me. I want to eat lunch. That's very difficult for me. I don't often eat lunch or breakfast. Trying to be better about feeding myself. Camera for YouTube. Get an Aura ring. Plan a nice birthday for Elaine because she really deserves it. Go on vacation. Grow your YouTube to 20,000. That feels embarrassing. Ew. Tell your friends. Like and subscribe. Get back into therapy. Oh, calling myself out. Post book vlogs because you like them. I love watching book vlogs. They don't do super well on my channel, / the one I think that I've tried didn't do that well. Hire a team. Like I said, it's really hard to do all these things alone and to grow and to stay organized when I am the person who is creating all the things, marketing all the things, responding to all the emails. And then 33 and 34 are open, so I would love to know what y'all think and what you would recommend for me. The next day was just like last minute, like running around, going to the grocery store to get stuff for the dinner tomorrow night. Here's my grocery list. Okay, so the next day was the birthday party. It was the best birthday party I've ever had in my life. It was so wonderful and fulfilling, and I got everything that I wanted, and everyone there that was so meaningful to me. It was just like such a beautiful group of women from such like different parts of my life, you know, some from childhood, some from college, some from book club, some from work, some from the internet. It was just beautiful. So this was the menu that I made. I got these navy blue candles from Amazon, beeswax candles, to put in the candlestick holders. It was such a vibe. Anyway, Megan made the candy salad, as I said, packaged the candy salad with custom labels. So there's the front and there's the back. Isn't that amazing? Megan and I are threatening to open a candy salad business. So if you are interested in that, please let me know in the comments. Megan is the best, and she gave me this empty baggie because she knew I would want to put it in my Hobonichi. So I have been storing some Polaroids from that night in there. It was just so lovely. It really was. You can sort of see the tablescape there, but I'll put some pictures up where you can like actually see. I mean, that's such a vibe, that the way that the candle's burning down. Of course, I just didn't get as many pictures as I wanted, but that just means that we were having a really good time together. During dinner, Liz, I asked her to kind of facilitate a conversation, like maybe get some questions together, or I gave her everybody's number and I said, I just want you to have their number. I would love for you to put together some sort of thing. You know, for her, we wrote her these letters before she got married. You know, I was just like kind of coming into this year, I would love to hear from my friends. She knocked it out of the park. Not only did, you know, these people that I've known for very long amounts of time and very short amount of time write me these lovely things with advice and just about how proud they are of me and like what I mean to them. It was so lovely. Liz also asked them for a word that I embody or that maybe describes me, and then she made this really lovely art piece with the words, and I'll put all these pictures up so you can see it, and it was just so touching and so sweet, and I feel so loved. And it's hard when you work alone and you work a lot, and it's just hard to remember sometimes that you have people in your corner. And I definitely have people in my corner. So this is just a piece of vellum paper. I'll like cut these down and make pockets or tape ins or backgrounds on the page or whatever, but I just taped this in and folded it to make a foldable page. And then on the back of it, I've got our jello shots happening. I've got a little bit more about the stuff that I painted and like the vibe of the table, which is so good. I love everything about it. I really like jammed and crammed this thing, and I'm happy with it. It's like over the top and over designed and definitely jammed and crammed, but I liked it. The next day was such a lazy day, and we just sat around and like watched the Olympics and did not do a single thing until I took her to the airport. Then Elaine and I took a nap, and it was awesome, but just like a really low-key day. The rest of the week I just spent kind of like catching up on work and stuff, but this is a story from dinner where I asked Elaine to put together a playlist, and I'd had a party a couple years prior and the vibe was very different. A lot of drinking, a lot of just like 50 people packed in this tiny apartment, which is cool, very fun. But she was really like following that feeling, and I didn't realize that I didn't communicate clearly enough to her that like I started going for just like vibey pop and stuff, you know, like the mood for dinner. And so she went through one of my favorite playlists that I made back in like 2013. It's called Big Booty Judy, and it's got all my favorite rap songs on it from that era, which I think is the best of rap, but I can't get into that now. And so someone is telling this touching story during dinner. You can just hear in the background, I woke up in a new Bugatti, and I look over at Elaine and we laugh. We're like, and then I'm like, turn it down. And she's like clicking on her phone, like trying to get it turned down. And I'm just like, wow, the vibes got crossed, but that's okay. The next day, just a work day, and then we had dinner, and on the way home, the sunset was incredible. So incredible that we drove like an extra 10 minutes just like turning down streets trying to see the sunset for as long as we could. It was just like purples and blues and like oranges almost. It was like so crazy and so beautiful, and it made me think of that Jimmy Eat World song, Chase This Light, which is one of my all-time favorites. And then the next day, we had dinner with Elaine's parents, and they bought me a whole ass Oura ring. I was not expecting it. I was just asking for money. I thought they'd give me $100 tops to go towards my Oura ring, and they said, oh, here you go. You wanted it, you got it. And they are too good to me. I do not deserve that, but I'm thankful that they did. So there is that. That is July for a second and technically third time. I know that this one took a little bit longer than normal to get out, so I appreciate your patience with that. Things have just been a lot. And hey, you want to peek at August? What about September? You want to peek at September? Okay. So anyway, that's okay. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys last time for all the love about the emoji conversation. It was really fun to see if you loved it or hated it or felt indifferent, or if you just dropped an emoji. That was really fun to see. And I just love to hear from you when you do respond. Oh, Elaine's here. Elaine can close out this with me. Hey. You want to end the video with me? You look so cute. It can be you and Richard. Nice. Okay. I actually don't know if they can see you.
I think you can.
Thank you for watching. I did. Oh, crap. I did tell you about my Hobonichi. We're going to save it for next time. Oh, sorry. I already told the story. It went away, so that's a sign. But I do want to know if you did get something from the Hobonichi release, what you got, what you think I got. Because remember, I was like trying to decide between an Avec or a cousin. Just regular old cousin. And I think that's all I got. You got anything? You want them to tell you anything?
No. I'm good.
Richard, what about you?
Oh, I want them to tell me, do you like Richard? Yes, or really a lot of yes.
Thank you for watching. Love you so much. Will? Probably not her. We'll see you in the next one. Bye. Richard attack.
Richard attack. Oh no.
Richard attack.